He just said on MSNBC moments ago, I think he, meaning the president, may have done something during the election, but I don't know that for sure. Your reaction?
Well, I definitely think he doesn't know that for sure because he's incorrect. As we've said many times before, there was no collusion with the Trump campaign.
Sam Nunberg was one of Donald Trump's first hires on this campaign. They did have a falling out in August 2015. His pledge to defy Mueller today comes along with an extraordinary revelation. Nunberg taking the public inside Mueller's probe and showing us this list of people. These are the people, according to Nunberg's materials, that the special counsel wants more information on. Sam Nunberg, thank you for coming on The Beat for your first time.
Thank you for having me on.
When we last spoke, when you were at this table,
yes, sir,
you were cooperating with this probe. Why now, tonight, do you say you won't?
Well, when I look at this, for the period of November 1, 2015 to the present, please provide all documents related to the following individuals. Carter Page, never spoke to him. Okay? Never spoke to him. Corey Lewandowski, Hope Hicks. I didn't speak to them. They forced me out of the campaign. They pushed Roger out of the campaign. Keith Schiller? Keith is a friend of mine. Why do I have to give them my personal communications? Steve Bannon, Roger Stone. Roger's my mentor. I email Ari with Roger 15 times a day. Okay? And we had a big disagreement during 2016. Because once again, as you know, and I've been honest about this, I wanted Trump to lose. I didn't care if Trump lost. I thought it would be funny if Trump lost.
So you go down this list of names. Some of them you say you don't have much material with. Some of them you say you do. Why won't you hand that over when last week you were willing to talk to these investigators?
Because I talked to them. I talked to them. I've spent money on an attorney. I've cooperated with them. And when I got something like this, and then they wanted me to go to the grand jury next Friday, and I believe they're trying to start a case against Roger. And the reason I believe that, Ari...
let's just be clear so everyone can follow this. You're holding the subpoena from Bob Mueller's office.
By the way...
Well, let's just so we have the facts. That's what you're holding here, yes?
Yes, this is the subpoena.
You have it. It's a requirement of, as you say, to get documents and material on those people and also for you to go in the grand jury room. Why do you think after you did the other interview do they want to make you go in the grand jury room?
Because they're trying to set up a perjury case against Roger Stone, and I'm not going to have it. Roger's my mentor. Roger is like family to me, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And Roger did not talk. Roger may have lied about it,
let me be
but
very
Roger
clear.
did not talk.
Are you basing that view that they're going for Roger, they're trying to use you to get to Roger, based on a theory or based on the questions they asked you?
Based on the questions they asked me. I have no idea in advance what they wanted for the grand jury, but what they did tell me was I wasn't going to be a subject or target, and I was going to get the same kind of immunity. But they wanted something. Now, Ari, let me just say something.
They offered you immunity?
Yes. Ari, let me say something.
Sure.
The idea that we had some major plot with Donald Trump, after Corey Lewandowski, the minute he got hired, I don't want to be, let me put it this way, he ran a scam to get hired, okay? That's my opinion. Corey Lewandowski, the minute he got hired, wanted Roger and me out.
But you think Mueller's investigators...
I think Corey was in there, and I think Corey told them a lot of stuff about us.
And let me ask you,
Corey tried to set something up.
Did they say that to you or your lawyer?
Said my lawyer. I haven't communicated directly with them.
And when you say they're after Roger, has Roger in any way encouraged you not to cooperate?
No, he is not. In fact, Roger may be very upset. A lot of people may be very upset. I don't think has this been done before? And especially with somebody like...
When you say people are upset, I think, and I'm going to speak to you as an interviewer, but also as a human being, I think there's two reactions right now. I think some people are worried about you, and they're worried about what you're doing. I think other people are upset because we just showed the White House, which doesn't want to comment on this, responding to you. So clearly you
Sarah should shut up, frankly.
Clearly you're in the eye of a storm.
Sarah should shut up.
Let me ask you this.
She's a terrible communicator.
Let me ask you this.
By the way, her presidential, the person she defends every day, he has a 35% approval rating. She should shut her mouth.
Let me ask you the important question.
Yeah.
Do you understand...
And I'm warning her, by the way, to shut her mouth.
Do you understand that you have a legal obligation to comply?
Yeah, I have a legal... Technically, I have a legal obligation. But Robert Mueller and the team is going to have to decide if they really want me to give every communication I had with Steve Bannon and Roger Stone?
Well, sir, I think they've decided, and let me read to you because this is important. Defying a subpoena is a jailable offense. I'm reading to you here. Under the rules, the court may hold in contempt.
They're going to send me to jail.
A witness
That's funny.
Who disobeys a subpoena. If you're saying that they've set a Friday deadline, in your mind...
No. They wanted a 3 p.m. deadline.
For the documents, and then a Friday deadline for you to go in there, yes?
Yes, and I'm not going.
So if you're not going, are you prepared to be held in contempt and potentially go to jail?
Yes. And you know why?
Why? Yes, why? Tell us why.
Because when they asked for something like this to me, and the way they treated, and Ari, you and I can disagree about it, but and once again, Donald Trump is responsible for this investigation because he was so stupid after he fired Comey. He had the Lester Holt interview, and he had the Russians in his office. But if they're going to do something like this after the way they treated all the Hillary people with the emails during that investigation, I'm not going to have it.
So because you're saying, I just want to get the facts because there's a lot flying here for people. You're making 2 serious claims, though, about what Mueller's asked of you. Number one, you're saying that they subpoenaed this information about these other Trump officials by 3 p.m. today, and that deadline has passed, and you're saying in defiance of it.
Yeah, correct. I'm not going to go over 50,000 emails.
So you're saying this is not a pledge that you will violate, but now you are not complying with that deadline.
Something like this is so ridiculous after I went down there, after, by the way, I spent money on a legal, you know, for a lawyer, and a lot of other people have spent a lot of money, and it's not fair. It's really not fair. Now, once again, it's Donald Trump's responsibility that this investigation is going on, and as I've told you, I think it was 100% right that he started this independent counsel, not because Trump fired Comey, which I'd agreed with, because Trump gave the Lester Holt interview and had the Russians.
Because of the things he said about why he did it. Let me ask you a question that's not about the law.
Yes, sir.
You and I have both been around these types of situations, these types of probes. They can be very stressful, even for people who are completely innocent, did nothing wrong. It can be stressful. How are you holding up, and do you want to take more time to think this through? Could you change your mind?
I'm not going to answer something so wide as this. This is so ridiculous. I'm not going to give them every email I had with Steve Bannon and Roger Stone. I communicate with them every day.
And are you feeling okay? Are you feeling stressed out by this?
No. And I'm feeling kind of, I want to see what Mr. Mueller does. It's never been done before. Once again, and here's where we go, where you're very fair about this. I think that there's hypocrisy. I think that there's 2 separate rules for Democrats and Republicans. I want to see if they're going to do something to me about this after the way they treated Hillary Clinton during the Comey investigation. Let's see that. Let's see it.
Let me ask you another question.
Carter Page? I mean, Ari, look at this. Corey, do you think I talked to Corey on November 1? I despise Corey. If I could find Corey in an alley, it wouldn't be very nice for him.
Well, here's the question, since you're showing this, and this is your choice. If you don't talk to Corey much, and you don't have a lot of material of you and Corey going back and forth, then this wouldn't be very onerous at all for you to comply with.
But the issue isn't that it's onerous. The issue is, why is the government asking for my communications when they know they're casual and they know that I did not collude and we did not collude with Russians? That's not fair.
Let me try to be fair. The short answer for me is, I don't know, because I'm not inside the probe, but let me put it this way to you. Are you aware that they may already have all of that?
I think they do. They definitely had Roger Stone's emails.
And so one of the
they asked me questions about Roger Stone's email. They asked me questions about Roger and me that they would only have had Roger's emails.
The questions they asked you in your previous interview suggested they were already reading your private communications with Roger Stone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that goes to a point that Preet Bharara, who I'm sure you've heard of, the federal prosecutor.
Very nice guy. I like his podcast, by the way.
Well, this is what he said in response to what you've done today. He said, I'm prepared to bet Special Counsel Mueller's team already has Nunberg's emails. Even if you have them from other parties or from the service provider, you ask for them anyway. Among other things, you learn a lot when people selectively disclose. And so wait, this is an important question, Sam. Don't you think it's possible that what they're testing here is not against you, assuming you would completely comply, but against other people if they withheld incriminating emails?
Here's what I would say, Ari, is Roger Stone is like a surrogate father. He's like my father.
You feel loyal to him?
and I'm not going to go in there for them to set up a case against Roger. Roger did not do anything. Roger and I were treated like crap by Donald Trump, okay? The fact that I was fired for Facebook posts, which were fine, racially insensitive, do you think that would have cost us a vote?
Well, and you and I spoke about that, and you actually apologized for that.
I apologized for it.
So I know that history.
And then Corey,
let me ask you this,
and then Trump was ready to let Corey fire Roger.
And those are old campaign scores, and an investigation of a campaign is obviously...
Hope Hicks, who? Hope Hicks. You mean Corey's girlfriend, his paramour?
Well, let's stay on track.
Do you think I contacted her?
Let's stay on track on what the probe is looking at, because I think you have gotten the attention of a lot of people tonight, as I mentioned.
Yes, sir.
The probe is looking at whether people are complying. You seem, if I'm reading you right, the best case reading of what you're saying is an inference that they are out to get you or Roger. But you don't really know that, because if you guys comply and didn't do anything wrong, you don't think Bob Mueller, from what you said last week, is going to make up a case against you,
I don't think he's making up a case, but I think that this is too much. I think that this request is too wide. It's not fair. Let
me play for you what you said about these investigators on this show.
Okay, fine. And I said they're very professional, but this is...
So let's take a look at that.
But Ari, November 1...
Let's take a look at that.
This was like a white shoe law firm going in. Okay, I've sat in there. They asked me questions. They had charts out. They had specific things they wanted to know. They had follow-ups. It was almost like flow charts. It wasn't a waste of taxpayers' money to have me in there. It wasn't a waste of time for me either. And I'm happy to have been in there, and I'm happy to have cooperated.
Is that still your view? Because
that's
if that's your view, then it wouldn't be too broad. It would be that they're like a white law firm being diligent. I'm asking you.
No, and my point is that I was so honest. I cooperated. I didn't say call me to the grand jury when they first contacted me. And after that, after sitting there for so many hours, after paying the money for a lawyer, I think it's something like this. And Ari, I have to earn a living. You know, I know Bob Mueller. I know that whole team, and they're right, and they probably have something on Trump. Trump did something pretty bad, if I had assumed.
What do they have?
I don't know. I have no idea, but they have something.
Do you think they were more interested in Trump related to the criminal hacking which occurred, and we know there were stolen emails, or in relation to all the social media and the
I think they were interested in something with his business.
With his business?
Yes.
Did they ask you about the way he run his business?
Yes, they asked me about his business, and I have no. By the way, I have no idea what he did, and he may not have done anything, and I could be wrong.
You felt they were asking you more about potential crimes related to the Trump organization than related to the Trump campaign?
That's what I felt. Yeah.
That was your interpretation.
That was.
Let me ask you this: do you think that these investigators are escalating against you for a reason? Because you did say something that's true, and you know there are people out there that are wondering what you're doing. There are people, as I mentioned, that are worried. Are you doing something that's adverse to your interests? Wait, and there are people saying, well, okay, does he have a point? What you just said is true, that an interview is more cooperative, and you did that cooperation, and now they're bringing you before the grand jury. Do you have any reason to know why they're appearing to escalate against you in that way?
Our strategy was not to ask why they wanted me at the grand jury. Once again, as I was told, I am not a target. I am not a subject of the investigation.
Which would, if true, would be good news for you.
But they wanted something I said to them in that interview. They wanted at the grand jury.
Do you think they wanted it to put on record for testimonial purposes to use against someone later?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Well, you say, of course. Everyone's trying to understand.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah.
You might be ahead of where some people are. So you think they want you in the grand jury room.
And you're a lawyer, too. You understand the way it works, right? And in these grand juries, they build a case.
They want you in the grand jury room to build that case against someone else.
Yes. And here's the reason.
And that person is?
I don't know.
You don't know.
And if it's Roger, I'm not going to testify against Roger. Roger did not do anything. Roger was treated terribly by Donald Trump.
And he's one of Donald Trump's oldest advisors.
Yeah, but Trump is the most disloyal person you're ever going to meet. I've told you this.
If you do comply with this and you go in the grand jury room, you know you have to go in there alone without a lawyer.
That's the issue isn't about me going in there. I have no problem telling them what I said in there. The issue is I don't think this is fair. This is over. This is the idea that I Carter Page, Corey Lewandowski, Hope Hicks. I mean, Corey Lewandowski and Hope Hicks colluded to get Roger and me fired. Okay, Carter Page, never met the guy in my life. Never met him.
Do you think Carter Page has criminal exposure?
I think Carter Page colluded with the Russians. And I've told you that before. I've told you that privately. I think he colluded with the Russians.
And how many people do you think he told he was doing that with on the campaign?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he told a lot of people because I don't think he had a lot of power in the campaign. I don't think he had a lot of...
There's been a lot of talk about how Mueller has not yet done anything in an indictment level regarding collusion. Do you think what you just said, your allegation that Carter Page colluded with the Russians, do you think Mueller has that from multiple witnesses?
I have no idea. I have no idea, and I wouldn't be good authority.
Does he have that from you?
No. No, I never spoke to him.
Sam Nunberg, thank you for being here. I have another update. You're welcome to stay at the table, and you're welcome to continue to participate. I want to give viewers a little more context on what is a big development.